You're probably all aware of NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. They're sending astronauts up on large rocket-propelled sticks to go circle around the moon. They call their ship Artemis II, and their goal is to test systems that were unable to be tested on the uncrewed mission back in 2022. Such as, how big of a dump can you take in their special toilet before it clogs and fills the whole ship with poo water? And they're testing other various systems of less importance as well. As of right now, the mission is planned for February 9th, but I will be darned if I let a multi-billion-dollar company with thousands of the brightest minds beat me to the moon. That is why I created the Kerbal Space Program, National Astronautics and Space Agency for Strategic, Uncrewed, and Crewed Kerbin Systems. It's about time that I proved to my 8th grade science teacher that I'm more than a C- student. Due to a few mishaps during the last launch window, we drew up some new plans, such as this one, and this one, and this one, and my personal favorite, this one. I don't know who drew this one, but oh god, we don't pay him enough. This brings us to our actual starship. Say hello to Safety 1. It's safe, because safety is in its name. Right now, our Kerbals are prepping launch systems and checking the 2 safety features. That's one more than last time. We can't have anyone else dying this time around. It's movie night. Don't worry, it was tested by the manufacturer. If anything goes wrong during this mission, I would like to let the families of the crew know. You can't do anything to me. I wrote it into their contracts in really small print. We pulled the best Kerbin minds out of the pit for this mission. I like to think of it as giving opportunities to the less fortunate.
T-minus 1 minute and 34 seconds to launch.
If everybody could take a seat, please, I would like to explain how we are about to make history. We know that NASA is sending their astronauts around the moon, but we are sending our astronauts to the Mun. Once they have stored enough Mun dust in their lungs, they will be coming back to Kerbin, mostly unharmed. How does Safety 1 work? Well, it's built in 3 stages. Stage 1 gets the ship out of the atmosphere. The boosters are released and fall back down to Kerbin, hopefully missing any major cities. Stage 2 gets the ship into a stable orbit around Kerbin before pushing the ship into alignment with the Mun and burning until the ship is on course to intersect with the Mun's gravitational pull. Stage 3 is the crew capsule. It detaches from the main spacecraft over the Mun. This is the lander. It'll get our Kerbals down to the surface. It is stuffed full of more fuel than would ever legally be allowed, so, as a courtesy, we read the crew's last rites. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Wait a minute, that's not the right book. Be blessed and don't die. Good luck. Once they have done their business down there on the Mun, they will be launching back up into Mun orbit, where they will be realigning the ship's trajectory with Kerbin. When our astronauts get back over Kerbin, they will be splashing down in the ocean, safely. But that's just a theory.
T-minus 10 seconds to launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Safety 1 has launched.
While the Starship makes its way into orbit, I'll take this time to explain more about rockets by regurgitating facts I stole from the internet. Did you know that rockets were invented in the year 1232? Not this kind of rocket. It was much more of a firework. Some guy in China, this big place, figured out that gunpowder could make things go fast. See, Safety 1 really was produced by professionals. Unfortunately, these Chinese wizards did use the rockets to kill each other. But only 300-ish years later, in the 16th century, rockets fell out of use in war. They were used much more like fireworks now, and occasionally setting fire to your enemies. Quote, it wasn't until the late 17th century that rocketry became a science. And here is some guy about to find out the hard way that you should use dummies when testing. There is no official record of how this went, but there is a high chance he just went kaboom. It was like flipping a coin back then, 50-50. The rocket either explodes or it flies. Moving on from the probably dead Chinese guy, in 1720, a Dutch professor named Willem something built model cars that were propelled by jets of steam. Wait, when were cars invented? 1885? This guy must be a time traveler. Anyways, in 1898 Russia, this guy became a father to modern astronautics. He proposed a plan to use rockets to explore space. Shortly after, in the early 20th century,
Robert
designed this, a real rocket. And then again, slightly later on October 4th, 1957, Russia was the first to get a man-made object into orbit around the Earth. It was a satellite called Sputnik, and it took pictures of bald people's heads from space to research the amount of heat lost from reflecting infrared rays. I made that up. Sputnik wasn't real. It was the Voyager satellite that took photos of people's bald heads. Hey, would you look at that? The solid rocket booster is just detached from the main booster. Safety 1 is very similar to the Artemis rocket. When the first stage runs out of fuel, it jettisons all of its boosters back down to Kerbin. It does the same thing with the main booster as well. In order to actually leave Kerbin's atmosphere, you can't just point and pray. You actually have to plan a trajectory or be lost in space forever. The goal of the first trajectory change is to get the Starship into a stable orbit around Kerbin. And to achieve this, it needs to orbit the planet without entering the atmosphere. Lest it comes crashing down. That would be no bueno. We would be shut down for good. We also need fuel, called Delta V by rocket people. The maneuver shows you how much fuel you need, which you should cross-reference with your current booster stage to ensure you have enough fuel. As long as the maneuver number is smaller than this one, you should have no problems. All you gotta do now is use those brain cells you're so proud of and put the pedal to the metal. Then just watch the countdown, and when it ends, engines off. It's really that simple, the computer does most of it for you. Now that we are in a stable orbit around Kerbin, we would actually relax a bit and take our time planning the maneuver node to get to the Mun.
But goddammit, we don't have time! NASA might be on their way to the moon right now, and we could lose this race! I have my limited edition Barbie doll bet on this, and I won't lose it!
We do the same thing as before, except this time, we force the trajectory away from Kerbin and into the path of the Mun.
Hello there! Sputnik sails giggling through the sky.
Your destination is on the right.
Thank you, helpful GPS lady. It's not like I could see it. Now that we're here, it's time to set up a stable orbit around the Mun, just as we did back at Kerbin. And then we can detach the lander. This marks the last stage release. This lander will bring our Kerbals home after they have completed their mission. By burning in the opposite direction as the lander's trajectory, we can slow the capsule down and bring it out of orbit. As we approach the surface, the lander must be kept at a steady pace. If the lander impacts with the Mun too hard, we can say goodbye to those 3 test subjects on board. As we pass the 1,000 meter mark, we will deploy our landing gear. The gear will dampen the collision slightly, but it still has to be kept at a reasonable speed. I cannot stress this enough. Slow down when landing. Most landers cannot take an impact. Even if they do, there is a high chance they roll over if they aren't landing on an even surface.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
I didn't think I'd get this far. There's only one thing to do. Would everybody please give me a huge grin and... But wait! It's not over yet. This isn't like past missions where we leave Kerbals stranded on the Mun. NASA's astronauts are getting home safe, so we have to get our Kerbals home safe too.
All aboard!
Launch commencing in 3, 2, 1.
Engines operational. Life support active. Thrusters vectoring. Landing gear retracting. The Kerbals are en route to Kerbin.
Hey, that place looks familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it though. Now, whilst our Kerbals are falling out of the sky, let's talk about how we are better than NASA. NASA's Orion crew capsule is not landing on the moon. It lacks a lunar lander module. Thus, all they can do is a flyby. We were able to collect samples of moon dust. They weren't, which immediately makes us better. And our spacecraft is cooler. It's probably time that we get back to the Kerbals burning up in the atmosphere. The crew capsule has a heat shield installed so the spacecraft doesn't melt on re-entry. But somebody didn't balance it correctly, so now it's just an arrow pointed towards the ground. But it's okay. We have parachutes. I hope. I wasn't holding my breath, you were. Now the Kerbals will hopefully fall very softly back down to the surface. We did it! We beat NASA to the moon and back! Thank you to all of those who didn't believe in me. You fueled this rage. I'm stepping down. I need to get out of this job before they find out what I've done. So, thanks for watching, and bye.
Hello there! Sputnik sails giggling through the skies. Red flags, red faces, jump in the race as the space age begins with a surprise.